Hey everyone, Bit here. So we're back in the bedroom, as well, I'm almost always in the bedroom for these videos, but we're back in here. Past couple of ones have been from the office with the Linux computer. I think like the X-Defiant Alternatives video was filmed on the other laptop with Linux. Or no, that was just a half-baked attempt to play Crunker. Sorry on going off on tangents about past videos that weren't filmed in here. Um, So if you saw the posts about me getting a new device, it's this. This is the Flipper Zero. Let me unlock it. There. It's got the lock code. So if I lock it again, this lock code is like it works like the uh, master speed dial. If you've seen those locks, I think I have a master speed dial. This one that has the arrows. So, anyway, if you don't know what Flipper Zero is, it became quite famous slash infamous for being a tool used by hackers and pen testers because it's got a radio in it, it's got RFID and NFC, it's got infrared, it's got some like pins for like hardware stuff, I button, so like some keys for some higher settings, bad USB, which all that does is keyboard emulation, like scripted keyboard emulation. It's also got a FIDO security key in here for some reason, although it doesn't work with the newer FIDO 2 protocol that's required by website. Like if it's asking for a pass key, it's going to want FIDO 2. It won't work with this one, U2F. But anyway, in the apps, it's just got some other stuff on here. Like it can be a Bluetooth remote. I paired it with my phone. I've also done it with the MacBook. But anyway, we're not going to be doing a full review of the Flipper in this video. We're going to be talking about how you can make splat posts with one. So, if you don't know what a splat post is, it's basically just a black and white drawing that is posted to be shown in the plaza on Splatoon 2 and like all of the Splatoon games have had a drawing feature, but we're doing it in Splatoon 3. Now, originally, you weren't able to do stuff like this with like Splat being able to make the post on a better device and then like load it to the Switch. You've always had to draw it on the console itself. And the consoles have always had like the Wii U had a resistive touchscreen with a resistive stylus, kind of like the 3DS. And then the Switch has a capacitive screen. And well, resistive and capacitive screens don't have any palm rejection, so you may notice my iPad there. I had it connected to the MacBook running this web-based pixel art software. It's called Piskel. I don't know. I first tried to use Procreate on the iPad with a different splat printer tool, but this splat printer tool is much easier. Now, you don't have to use a flipper specifically to run this. You don't have to use a flipper specifically to run this splat printer tool. It's called Splork. It's on GitHub, and it's also like got a website where you create the file. But all it needs is some sort of RP2040 based microcontroller, so like a Pi Pico. If you've ever heard of the Raspberry Pi Pico, and well, the Flipper's video game module is a Raspberry Pi Pico inside. So that's how we'll be doing this. So I've made the post. It just says splat posting is hard. The Flipper made it easier with like a weird drawing of the Flipper with the VGM attached and connected to a switch. And then I've got my OC on the right, and it just says little bit in the bottom left corner. It's like a branding thing. Might want to move that watermark further inwards. Wait a minute. Get in front of the camera. Besides, the software makes it a bit weird to do that because it's kind of designed with transparency in mind, so I have to account for that. I just have to make sure that everything's painted in white for the background. I can also do it in reverse. Anyway, let me figure out. So let me save this. So right now it's saved as a Pascal project. So we gotta save it as uh, a PNG selected frame because it's Pascal's kind of designed to make animations, but why is it PNG.png? Anyway, let's put that in downloads. So it's saved in the browser as a PNG file. It must be 320 by 120 in black and white. If there's any colored pixels, it'll be ignored. If there's any transparent pixels, it'll be ignored as well by the software that does the conversion. So now go to splork splork.ave.zone is the website. Let me move this down a little. And by the way, Pascal doesn't run on the iPad. If you try to open it, it'll give you an error saying that you need to use Chrome. They're saying that you need to use a different browser like Chrome or Firefox. So I just happen to have a MacBook, so I used Sidecar so I could still do the drawing with the Apple Pencil. Anyway, so drag the image file. It'll preview it. And then just click patch splork with image. See up here, patch splork with image. So it'll give you the splork modded file and it ends in .uf2. Let me clear the file I had on here before. VGMCFW. Let's delete that. Expected drawing time about 31 minutes. So yeah, it does take a while. All of these splat printers take a while to do stuff. So at this point, you'll need a USB-C cable to connect to a USB-C to A, or in my case, I can use a C to C since I'm doing this on my MacBook Air. You'll need a USB cable to connect the flipper to your computer. And you can use either QFlipper or Flipper Lab. We're going to use Flipper Lab. So lab.flipper.net. And it should connect. No, it's not locked. It just says waiting for Flipper. You good? I see the icon on the Flipper screen. Let's try that again. There it is. So apparently these things just choose their own names. So mine's called. A couple of errors. Anyway, my flipper is apparently named Atringu. I didn't pick that name. So go to Files. Now, if you have a pin lock, if you have a code lock on your flipper, make sure you disable auto lock when having to do something that might take a while in the Flipper Lab or something, or with QFlipper, because if the flipper locks itself, it's going to disconnect from your computer. So I have this folder called VGMCFW, which is video game modules, this custom firmware, because you're actually like replacing the firmware on the video game module. So then you say upload file, and then drag the splork modded UF2 file in there, and click upload. So now that file is in there. Okay, yeah, this is saved. Yeah, whatever. So now, we can actually just close Flipper Lab. We don't even need the MacBook anymore. So now I have let me zoom back out to 1x. I have a bumper. I have the silicone bumper on my Flipper. So you have to take this like orange rubber piece out of the bottom, out of the video game module, so that it has a white plastic there. So at this point, you attach the VGM to the Flipper. I should say video game module initialized. So now, if you hadn't done this in the Flipper Lab, go to the Flipper Lab and look under Tools for Video Game Module Tool. And open that and say Install Firmware from File. And then go to whatever folder. I recommend calling it VGM CFW, just so you know where that is, in case there's other custom firmwares you want to put on the video game module. And then select Splork Modded, install. Then wait for it. It doesn't take that long to do. This is video game module updated. Now you'll see a blue light on the VGM. So now it's ready. So now it's ready to plug into the switch. So we will bring the camera around. Sorry about the desk. Bring the camera around. So at this point, you should have your Flipper and the video game module, and the light should be blue. So turn on the TV. And then wake up the switch. And open Splatoon 3. I gotta do this because it does that sometimes. Actually, wait, no, we don't. We don't need to go into the battle lobby. You need to go to the mailbox. It's in different places depending on the plaza. Also, the Frosty Fest is happening this week, so that's why there's a bunch of buildings everywhere. So let's post. We'll just make a normal post. Because I didn't draw anything specifically for the Splatfest. Now, when connecting this to the switch, don't plug the cable into the Flipper, not that port. Plug it into the port on the video game module. So plug the cable in there. Now on the Flipper, go to its main menu and scroll down to GPIO. Then to GPIO manual control, and then select using the left and right buttons. Select PC0, and then press select. Oh, I forgot. So let me reset the board. Put that back up there. So you gotta make sure your controller's disconnected. So like tap the button to turn off the Pro controller, or like I can do, put the Ultimate on its dock. Do that. So make sure that in the GPIO from the main menu, go to GPIO manual control, then select PC0, and then press select. It will connect, so it will connect to your Switch as a Pro controller. You'll wait for a minute. It'll clear the board. And then start drawing. And every time it makes an A button input, you'll see the uh, the blue light on the top flashing. You just wait for this to finish and send it. This will take a while, so I'm going to put on the time lapse feature on my iPhone. Sorry, that was a shake. So I'm going to put the time lapse feature on my iPhone, and so you can like see the process. So jump cut. So it's finished. Now I tried to pause the time lapse in the middle of it so I could show that it would still draw without the flipper connected, because the code is running on this part, the video game module, not on the flipper. But anyway, so now that it's done, we need to reset the video game module and just reconnect the controller. So I'm gonna wait to post this until the video goes live on YouTube. So I'm gonna press save and quit, and then I'm gonna put the console on sleep. Just turn off the TV. So anyway, so put the video game on. If you took the video game module off the flipper, put it back on. Then, a minute, focus. There. So go down to, it's in the tools folder. I told you about it earlier. To the video game module tool, and say install official firmware. Then install. And then once it's done, you can leave this app and you'll see video game module initialized. So that's how you make splat posts with a Flipper Zero. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.